Over the next 5 minutes, you will learn how to create one of the simplest yet most fascinating inventions ever to grace the earth. Today, we are going sky high. We are going to be inventing, drum roll please, a mini parachute. Yes! Okay, boys and girls, it's time to go and get a grown-up so they can find out what they will need for today's invention. 1 plastic bag, some string, some scissors, and a small object such as a small action figure. Take the scissors, make sure you're careful, and perhaps ask a grown-up to help you with this. Now what you need to do is cut a large square out of the plastic bag. So you have something like this. Then what you do is you turn it round like this and then fold over the edges in half. And then you cut the corners off here. Like this. And like this. There you go. Cut that bit off. And then you unfold it and you get a shape like this. This shape is called an octagon, which is maths talk for a shape with 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you've completed that, it's on for the next step. For this next step, you will need a pen, a skewer, and some blue tack. Now, take the pen and mark a little hole each point. Take the blue tack, put it under the bag, and then take the skewer and pierce a hole through the bag. The blue tack stops it from going through the table. And do this for all 8, like this. There you go, like that. And then like that, and then that one, and then that one, the last 2, that one, and that one. Now the next step is to take your string and to cut it into equal lengths like this. It's up to you how long you want them. I've done mine about 14 inches long, but you need 8 of them. Then you tie a knot in each end on all of the pieces of string. After that, you take your bag and you pierce it through the holes that you've already put in the bag, like this. Next one. Okay, now you should have something that looks like this, with all the strings tied on. Now, what's next, I hear you say? Next, you need to take your action figure or your weight or whatever you're using to attach to the parachute. I'm using Graham the guinea pig. He's my test guinea pig. I use him on everything I do. Now, I've tied a little bit of string around Graham, so then we can attach the strings from the parachute to Graham like this. Thread it through like that, and then you tie another knot like so. Now you have your peculiar parachute. It's time to give it the ultimate test. You need to be super duper careful here, boys and girls. Use a chair or a high spot and drop the parachute to see how well it works. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, your parachute will descend slowly to the ground and your weight will land safely. If not, then you need to make a bigger one. Sorry, grown-ups. Who wants to get creative? I said, who wants to get creative? Right, brilliant. Okay, go get your mummy and daddy. Are they here? Yes? Good. Mums and dads, you are going to need to go into the kitchen and find some peculiar household items. This is what you are going to need. 1 large potato. 1 large skewer cut into 2. 4 bottle lids. Some blue tack or some sellotape. Right, first things first, make sure you have everything in front of you and there is a grown-up to help you with any tricky bits. Right, so here we go. Here's how to make Mr. Peculiar's potato cars in 5 very easy yet very peculiar steps. Pick up your potato and figure out which way round you would like your car. You can have it the usual long way like this, or you can have a short car like this. That may or may not work. Who knows? Why don't you give it a go? Right, place your potato on the surface for step 2. Pick up a skewer. This is going to be what the wheels will be sitting on. And pick up the potato, and this is the bonnet of the potato, and this is the boot. The bonnet is the front, and the boot is the back. So turn the potato over, get the skewer, and pierce it through the potato. If this is too tricky, then please get mummy or daddy to help you. Okay, put it all the way through, then take the other skewer and put it at the boot end, which is the back, and do exactly the same thing all the way through the potato, like so. Make sure you're very careful with this because they are quite sharp. So like I said, mummy and daddy might need to help you. We don't want any loose potatoes hanging around, do we? Or any fingers that have been prodded. Okay, step 3 is pretty tricky. Now, you need to get some blue tack, put it on the mat like this. Then you need to get one of your caps and put it over the top of the blue tack. That stops it from marking the table. Then you get an unused skewer with the spiky bit on here, and then you put the skewer through the top of the cap in the middle to make a big hole. Then take it out, put that one to one side, and then do the next one. Like so, like that. And then I'm using bottle caps here that have come from milk bottles because I want a bigger tire on the back than I do on the front. So we do it again like this. Take that off, make it a bit bigger like that. There you go. And then the last one like this. There. Take that out like that. Take that off. Right, now to assemble the wheels to the potato, I mean car. Here we go, like so. You put one in like that, there, at the back, the boot, and then one at the other end, like that. Oh, it's quite tricky. There we go, like that. And then the 2 little ones at the front, like so. And then that one next to it, like that. Oh, it's come off. They can be quite fiddly. There you go. Make sure it runs. And then, what next, I hear you ask? Well, that's on to step 4. Okay, this is nearly the final step. This is step 4, and I've brought the camera a little bit closer so you could see what I've done. I've made one earlier, and it looks like this. Look, I've coloured the car red, and I've coloured the wheels black. You know, I've made sure that they got windows, and what I'm going to do now is put a number plate on it, like so. So I think we're going to call it potato 1. There we go, like that. Oh, and also I put some blue tack on the end of the skewers to stop the wheels from coming off. Okay, now you have your shiny new potato car. Now we need to race it. Right, hold it like this and push it around, not forgetting to do the sound effects. Beep, 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 beep. Hello boys and girls, yes, it's me again, Mr. Peculiar, and welcome back to Mr. Peculiar's World of Inventions. The last episode was so successful that I'm going to be doing another experiment. Yes, today I'm going to be making a tornado in a bottle, yes! Unfortunately, this will be the last episode in this current series, but we will be back in the summer with an extravaganza, yes? This is what you're going to need for today's experiment.
A water bottle, some water, some washing up liquid, some glitter.
Right, first things first, make sure that you have everything you need and there is a grown-up next to you to help with any tricky bits. Now boys and girls, today's invention is a lot of fun and you could even say rather peculiar. The first thing you need to do is to take a bottle, remove the lid and then fill it with water to about 3/4, which is about there. Okay, have you done that? Brilliant. Now, this is the peculiar step. Grab the washing up liquid and squirt a few drops into the water. Make sure you use a generous amount, but don't use too much, otherwise the grown-ups will have to use paper plates for dinner. So, like that. There you go. Now for the next step. Take the glitter and sprinkle a bit into the bottle, like this. You can use quite a generous amount with this. It just helps you to see the tornado a bit clearer. Right, this is the second from last step. All you have to do with this step is just put the lid on the bottle, like so. Right, what I need you to do now is to grab the bottle by the neck, turn it upside down and give it a good swish like this all the way around in a circular motion. And then put it right side up and have a look to see what it's doing. Hopefully it's moving around like this. Isn't that magnificent, boys and girls? Today I have a summer themed experiment for you all to do. Here's what you're going to need to carry out our Fizzy Pop and Mentos experiment.
1 litre of Diet Cola, 5 Mento sweets, some double-sided sticky tape, a hammer.
Now, before we get started, as always, make sure that you have a grown-up around that can help with all the messy bits. And believe me, there might be some messy bits today. I'm going to show you how to make it indoors, and then I'm going to take it outside to do the experiment. You may want to do this outside because, like I said, it might get very messy. Here we go then, it's time for our big summer experiment.
You need to tear off a strip of around 20 centimetres of the sticky tape, which you have, stack 5 Mento sweets on the sticky side of the tape and wrap the sticky tape around the sweets so you have a little package. Make sure the sides of the sweets are exposed and not covered. Remove the cap from the cola and use the double-sided sticky tape to secure the Mentos package to the inside of the cap. When you put the cap back on, you don't want the package touching the cola, so you may have to tip some away. If your grown-up lets you, then you can drink some of it, but I prefer to have a nice glass of refreshing water. Now, all you need to do is to replace the cap carefully on the bottle, ensuring the package doesn't touch the cola. If it does, then your rocket will light off too soon. Oh dear. Now you need to shake it. Shake the bottle, but make sure the cap is on first. As you shake it, you should feel the pressure building up inside. The bottle should now feel very firm. Okay, this is the last step of our experiment. You definitely need to go outside for this bit. You need to lie your bottle down on its side. Ask your grown-up to stand by the side of the bottle and tap the cap with the hammer, so the Mentos get released from the cap. Your rocket should take off like mine has. Well, sort of. I really can assure you that when it works, it's fantastic. But when it doesn't, you just get a big mess everywhere. There you go, boys and girls. That was our big summer experiment. Now, there is some peculiar science around it. If we turn the rocket on its side, the gas will push behind the rocket to propel it forward. We can use a variety of methods to create pressurized gas. The following activity uses Mentos and Diet Cola. Cola is fizzy because it contains molecules of carbon dioxide, CO2. When it's poured into a glass, the carbon dioxide molecules separate from the water by forming bubbles, a process called nucleation, and escaping into the air. When the Mentos and Cola come into contact, lots of CO2 bubbles form very quickly and cause an eruption.
It's me again, Mr. Peculiar, and welcome to my world of peculiar inventions. Over the next 5 minutes, you will learn how to create one of the most simplest yet fascinating experiments. Yes, you heard it right. It's an experiment today, not an invention. You can take this back to school and show all your friends. Yes! So today, all you're going to need is 3 items. That's not 3, that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, yes, 3 items.
1 orange, 1 bowl or container, some water.
Okay, first things first, make sure you have an adult with you so they can do any tricky bits. And also, make sure you wash your hands before you do this experiment. Okay, let's go. So, here we go. Here's how to make an orange sink or float using some science. Let's get creative. Now, boys and girls, this experiment today is so simple that even Polly Peculiar couldn't get it wrong. Okay, have they done it? They have? Good, let's move to the next step. Now, drop the orange very carefully into the water, like that. Make sure not to splash and get all your furniture wet. What's happening? Hopefully, like mine, it's floating. If it's not floating, then I'm afraid you'll have to get another orange. Now, for the next step, take your orange out of the vase or container or whatever you're using. Next step is to ask a grown-up to peel the orange. So that's the orange all peeled. Hopefully you did a better job than I did. Now, what's next, I hear you say? Well, you pop the orange back into the container and hopefully it will sink like that. Isn't that amazing, boys and girls? Now, I bet you're wondering why it floated with the skin on, but when we took the skin off, it sunk to the bottom. Well, that's the science bit. Now, I've just gone and got myself another orange from the kitchen because I wanted to show you the sciencey bit. Now, within the peel of the orange, there are tiny little air pockets all around the surface, which gives it a lower density than the water, which means that it floats. Now, when you take the peel off and you get rid of all the air pockets, then it gives it a higher density than the water, which means it sinks. Yes, science, peculiar, but true. Wow, boys and girls, wasn't that just wonderful? Now it's time for one peculiar invention, and today it's a creative one. Yes, we will be making a kaleidoscope. Ooh. A kaleidoscope is a toy that uses light and mirrors to reflect fascinating, beautiful, repeating patterns. There are many different kaleidoscopes that create different patterns, but all of them use the basic law of physics, multiplying light and reflection. Here's what you're going to need for this invention.
An empty Pringles tube, some tin foil, a hammer and a large nail or a screwdriver, some clear glue, some sellotape, some sequins or glitter, some cling film and spare lids.
Right, first things first, make sure that you have an empty tube. If you've been good all day, then I'm sure that your grown-up will let you eat the crisps. Mind you, make sure you share them. Right, once it's empty, is it empty? Yes, hello, yes it's empty. Right, make sure you wash and rinse the tube out carefully. So, the next step is to get some tin foil, and then you need to roll it in a cylinder like this. Okay? Then get your tube and pop the tin foil in like that. There you go. Now get some sellotape and stick it, there we go, stick it to the side of the tube like that. Another piece like so, and then stick that to the tube like that. So it looks like that. What you could do is you could roll some tissue paper with the foil and put them in together so it's a different colour. Right, this next bit you might need help with a grown-up. What you need to do is you need to turn the tube upside down, and we need to find the middle so we can put our spy hole in. So you can get a hammer and a nail, but I've got a screwdriver because it's a bit bigger. Now there's a little handy tip. If you have a spare lid, put it on the top because there's a little indentation where the middle is. Now I can see it's roughly where that says 0. So I take it off and I put the screwdriver there and I give it a little tap like that. There we go, all done. But what we need to do now is to grab another lid like this, then the sequins or the glitter or anything, even coloured pens, you could even colour it in if you wanted. Now you need to get the glue like this, dab some quite a hefty bit in the middle like this. Now this is a messy bit, you're going to need to wash your hands after this bit, is to spread the glue around like that, all the way around the lid. Okay, brilliant. Now what we need to do now is to get some sequins and put nice little patterns in the glue like this, like so. You could even get some glitter and put some of that in there. Any sort of pattern you want. Let's have a little bit of glitter, shall we? Put some glitter in there. Try not to get this everywhere if you can help it. Like that. That back. Have some more sequins. Like this. Put them all around until the whole of the lid is covered in sequins, glitter, pens, whatever you want, as long as it's brightly coloured. Here's one I've done earlier. I don't know if you can see that I've done a pattern like that. There you go. The wonderful thing is, if you get more Pringles tubes, you can save the lids and then you can make as many designs as you wish. Next, your kaleidoscope is going to need a lens to go over the top. So we're going to use cling film for this. So what you do is you take a bit of cling film off the roll like this. If you're not sure about it, how to do it. Make sure your adult can help. And then you pop it over the top of the tube, like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. There you go. Make sure it sticks, like that. And then you get some tape, and then you tape it all the way around, like that. So there you go. What I've done is put the cling film over the top, and then I've put tape around it so it makes it quite firm on the top, like that. What you could also do, if you have a spare lid, is to cut the top off like this, all the way around, just the edge, so you get something like that, and then that can go on the top like this, and then you stick that to the top of the tube, like that. Okay, now what you need to do is get some more sequins and put them on the top like this, all loose. There we go. Have quite a few if you want. There we go. And then you get the lid that you've made and you put it on the top, like that. Okay, what I've done is I've got some wrapping paper from Christmas or birthday, and I've wrapped the tube to make it look a bit more snazzy.
Right, to use your kaleidoscope, you need to head outdoors and find some sunshine. Twist the lid as you point the kaleidoscope up towards the sun. The fixed lens underneath the lid stays in place, while the outside lid spins around it, mixing all sorts of shimmering colours.